the Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
It just keeps getting better and better and better and better for AFC Bournemouth. Here is my raw reaction video to this. Now, before we get stuck into it, here's a little bit about our sponsors, Dental on the Banks. To find out more about them, visit dentalonthebanks.co.uk. So, I've got a massive smile on my face going into this game again against a team that are third, against a team that have defied all odds, just like AFC Bournemouth have. We got the better of them. And we didn't just go and beat them 1-0 at Dean Court on Saturday. Anybody who's there, I might be talking to people that were there, and, you know, I'm going to give my honest reaction to this game. But of course, anybody who wasn't there, anybody who is a Forest fan, anybody the rest of the Premier League, this is a statement of intent, just like that Newcastle game was. I don't know how many plaudits I can give to Andoni Iraola and the team at the moment, because Forest were well and truly chopped. Remember, this is a Nottingham Forest team that were, again, like Newcastle United, on such a good run of form. Chris Wood, one of the most prolific strikers in the Premier League, was completely and utterly snuffed out by Dean Howson, by Ilya Zabania, by Lewis Cook, by Milos Kerkez. The bloke didn't have a chance. Chris Wood did not have a hope in hell of actually getting anywhere. And we know what he is. We know he's a great one-on-one striker who is a bit of a poacher, who will get those goals. You know, you put him one-on-one with any goalkeeper in the Premier League, he'll probably bury it. And Nottingham Forest deserve, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to give Nottingham Forest a lot of credit here. From what I've seen of them this season, they deserve to be where they are. But I tell you what, AFC Bournemouth do as well. And I tell you what, I am smiling from ear to ear at this result, at this performance, at the previous performance as well against Newcastle, which I did a reaction video to as well. Go watch that as well, because you'll see my happiness. I just can't believe it. So, of course, unchanged. You do not change a side that have just gone up to St James's Park and absolutely wiped the floor with Newcastle United. And, of course, Sir Eddie Howe's team. Nuno Espirito Santo, a manager that I do rate. I know that there is a couple of people who have been on this channel before who's not particularly fans of Nuno. Of course, Forest fans are, but, you know, there is other people that aren't really fans of Nuno. They don't particularly like him as a person, but he's a very, very good manager, and he's a very, very tactical, clever man. Forest have, though, most of this season, like Adam said in the preview from Red Side of the Trent, go check out his channel, it's brilliant, is that they will sit back and then counter-attack. And that was something that really concerns me because, like Everton, Everton do that, but not in where they did under Sean Dyche. They have improved significantly under David Moyes, which that's a bit of a concern, that FA Cup game for me. But Forest sit back and attack on the counter. We don't particularly like that. We like that high press. We like pushing teams into their own corner. But the way we are playing at the moment is nothing short of exquisite. It is unbelievable. It is European football. It is, and dare I say it, I have no concerns about Liverpool visiting Dean Court next week. I actually, hand on heart, I feel that Liverpool are coming to Dean Court to face AFC Bournemouth as the team who are the underdogs. Never in a million years would I have ever said that before, because the way we are playing, the whole fluidity of the game, the whole press, the whole knowledge, the players love playing for Andoni Iraola. The man is an absolute legend. I know that I said at the very, very start, and I'm going to keep mentioning this because it's bloody funny now. It is bloody funny as fuck that, I didn't think it was going to work under Andoni. It bloody most definitely is. And the man, I am concerned that somebody's going to come in for him at some point. Somebody's going to come in. Let's be fair. Andoni is not going to be here forever, but we have to enjoy this moment. We have to love this moment, because look at, I'm going to go across the whole team, but let's firstly mention what issues and challenges we've got. We haven't got a recognised bloody striker, or one that's been regularly in the Premier League. Evan Nilsson is out injured, and then a day later, an ACL knocks Enes Unal out for the rest of the season. But Andoni Iraola did not panic. He recalled Daniel Jebbison. I think Jebbison is a good player. I think Jebbison was wasted by Watford. I think Tom Cleverley is an absolute clown for not getting the best out of Jebbison, because Andoni shows that he can. I think from the very, very, very brief moments we've seen Zane Silcott-Dubry, I think he looks like he's going to be very promising as well. So it's exciting times. And of course, Julio Soler, it was mentioned. Do go check out our interview with Alejo Rivera. He is effectively the Clive Tilsey, Martin Tyler of Argentine football. He's turning round and saying that Julio Soler is going to be better than Milos Kerkez. Now, I don't know how true that's going to be. I don't know how that's going to pan out. But if he's right in that, or even marginally right in that, if Julio Soler is 75% of the player Milos Kerkez is, we've got another star on our hands, because the quality, Milos was brilliant again. Absolutely. You know what you're going to get from him. You know that he is the best left back in the Premier League at the moment. And I don't care what any Fulham fans or Liverpool fans say. He is most definitely the best left back in the Premier League by far. By far. And Andoni Iraola, Simon Francis, Richard Hughes, of course, now at Liverpool. That's the big concern. Is Richard Hughes will probably want him because he knows what he's all about. They have to take full credit for our recruitment. Our recruitment has been absolutely unbelievable. Milos Kerkez, Ilya Zabania, again, a player who's come in, and it does not surprise me that Real Madrid and Man City and whoever want him. But he's a Bournemouth player, and why would he want to go anywhere else at this moment in time when he's enjoying his football so much under Andoni? Dean Howson, he's had to wait for his chance. There was rumours he was getting frustrated, but he has repaid Andoni Iraola's faith. Marcus Senesi, very unfortunate with injuries, but I cannot see how Marco Senesi can get back into this side at this moment in time. And Senesi's a bloody quality player himself, and Lewis Cook. How agile. You go from midfield. We have a right back crisis. I thought Andoni was going absolutely mad, or Frano, or whoever was going absolutely mad at the club by letting Max Aarons go out on loan. But no, Lewis Cook's gone from midfield straight into that right back position. And I tell you what, he has been absolutely outstanding. How can Smithy get his chance back? I know that they've got shares, hairdressers together, but I can't see how Smithy can get his place back, considering Lewis is doing such a bloody good job in that position. Let's talk about this game, though, in particular, because I was worried going into it. Forest deserve to be third. They're in third in the league for a reason. I'm going to give them lots and lots of credit because they've been very good. Murillo at the back, he's a defender that I really do respect, although, I can't see where he'd fit into our defence at all. He's a defender that, I would turn around and say, on a normal season, going back to when Eddie was in charge, I'd say Murillo, bloody sign him up straight away if we had the chance, because he's that quality. He's a quality defender. But we made him look bloody championship. Forest fans, I know that a lot of you have been saying that you had a bad day, but in particular, I don't think you did. I think you will bounce back. I think Nottingham Forest and Nuno Esperanto Santo are a very, very good team. I still think, that you will get European football of some sort. What that looks like for us, I don't bloody know. We've never been to Europe in our lives. At least you've gone and won 2 European Cups under Brian Clough. But let's talk about this game. So, of course, Forest did come out in the early exchanges. They did really come out, and you could see why they're up there. But of course, that man again, Justin Kluivert, on 9 minutes. The first 5 minutes, I thought, well, Forest look a little bit dangerous. But Justin Kluivert settled the whole place down with that goal. That mazy run from quite deep in midfield all the way up to about 20, 25 yards out, and that beautifully struck shot that, I've got to be honest, no goalkeeper in the world would have got to that, because it was just so well struck. It was right in the corner. I cannot blame Sales at all for not saving that. I don't think Forest fans can blame Sales at all. It was that good a strike. You're going to have strikes that in the season, Forest fans. I think, it goes without saying. And that was one of those which, hey, it happens. It was a great strike. And I tell you what, already on cloud nine, after Newcastle, we started the game very well. Of course, it did become a little bit tough. I don't think some of the refereeing decisions and the lino was a bit atrocious. Of course, we had a disallowed goal. Now, I've watched this back. I had a whinge at the time in the ground, and I had a moan. And Dango was offside. I'll say that now. Dango was offside. I had a whinge. I'm not going to turn around and say, well, we should have won 6. Okay, without VAR, that might have gone in our favour, but we've got VAR in place. That's why it's in place for. And I think that the right decision was made. I'm not going to turn around. The one against Newcastle, where Dango headed it and Dan Burns' hand was closer to the ball than Dongo's arm, should have counted. But this, yep, VAR got it spot on. Fine. Not a problem. No issues there. So, yeah, half-time, looking pretty, 1-0. I did think that Forest might come out that second half, and I thought that they would really come at us. The good thing is, because we got the goal quite early on, they needed to come at us, which probably played in our favour a little bit more room around the back. Forest do, like I say, play deep, hit on the counter attack. Adam said that as well, and very, very, very good assessment that he gave of his side prior to this match. Second half, it was like, of course, Nuno had changed his style a little bit, I think. Forest fans, you might disagree with that, but I think Nuno did come at us a little bit more. And of course, Dango, what a fantastic header. And that man again, Justin Kluivert, that crossover was swept bang, straight in the back of the net. Dongo's got an amazing head on him. And we absolutely went stark raving bonkers again. 2-0 up against Nottingham Forest. If it ended like that, I would have been delighted. I would have been absolutely over the moon if it had ended 2-0, because Nottingham Forest are a very, 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 very good side. And then it got even better. And Dango got another one, which was literally about 5-6 minutes later. And, again, an excellent strike. And then Marcus Tavernier, towards the dying embers, has come off the bench. Delight to see him back. Probably about 10, 15 minutes to go. And has set up Dango for his third. Now, I'm going to say something about Dango Ouattara here, because I've turned around and a lot of people I've known, and there's a lot of videos out there, not from this channel, I'm pleased to say, but there's a lot of videos out there that have been criticising Dango Ouattara and his style and what he's done here at Bournemouth. And, he's not good enough and all this. He most definitely is. Dango is a player for me that sometimes he felt like a bit of a luxury player, where he does one thing great and then 9 things you think, what is he actually trying to do here? But what Andoni's done is he's gone, right, got a crisis here, got an injury crisis. Rather than panic, rather than go out and sign somebody from the transfer window who has never played in the Premier League, or, who is kind of a Marcus Rashford sort of player, a player that's, kind of, a lot of people will say let himself down. I quite like Marcus Rashford, but at the moment, when I take him in our side, I can't see where he'd fit in. I can't see where he'd fit in even in his prime. Which he's definitely not at the moment. He needs to go somewhere to get his confidence back up. But what Andoni's gone is, right, I'm not going to panic here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring one of my players into the position, and effectively he's found Dango a position where actually I think he's better in than what he was in initially, what he's always been. That forward role, he drops deep and he gets the ball, he makes things happen, he creates things, and then when he's needed, he's in that right spot. He's in that right spot. And like for that header, like for that second goal, he's getting himself in the right position at the right time, and his reading of the game, I've gone from somebody who thinks, right, okay, he's a player that, makes quite a few errors, his crossing is not particularly that great, to a player that has turned into bloody Prime Messi all of a sudden. He's turned into the bloody Hulk. He is absolutely quality in that position. And my argument now is, do we really? I honestly can't say that we need to go out and sign a striker. Maybe, just maybe, we might need to look at a loan just as a little bit of backup, just in case, touch wood, nothing, if anything happens to Dango, touch wood, we won't need that backup player. But if it does, somebody who can actually come in and do a job. But Dango, for the moment, is carrying this. He is, moving. It's just excellent. His play with Kluivert, I think, is brilliant. I think those two work really, really well together. Ryan Christie, I've got to say, again, he's the engine. He's the engine. I was on a Scottish podcast the other day where we was talking about Ryan Christie, and he is probably the underappreciated player in our squad. Not many people sing about him, and everybody goes on about Kluivert and they go on about Zabani, Aaron Kirkes, but Christie is effectively like a glue that glues it all together. He has been outstanding. Tyler Adams, he was a sick note, but again, he's brilliant in that role. I think that honestly, and this is me being really, really ruthless here, Lees and Jesse bloody Marsh wasn't playing right way. And the man that I kept going on about and said, "Well, yeah, we've signed Tyler Adams, we've signed Sinistera. He's the sort of man that might be able to get us some points on the board." It's a good job I'm not Bill Foley, isn't it? Good job. Do you know what? I'm going to laugh at it. People can give me the stick. They can be really ruthless. They can go on like they did at the time. But I'm going to laugh at this now because at the end of the day, it's great. It's funny. And I'm delighted that I was proved completely and utterly bloody wrong. David Brooks was excellent. He was excellent. I think, to be honest, there was a point, in the first half, it was just outside us, where a Forest player did kind of chop him down to the left of the left of the Forest box. And to be fair, we should have had a free kick there. But the Lino, I don't think the Lino had a very good game in the first half, especially. But Brooksy has been outstanding, absolutely outstanding, and he's actually come back better than he was before. And I can't say any more plaudits about Justin Kluivert. I think he's actually going to be a better player than his father is. I think he's settled here. Possibly that was the problem. That was probably the problem why he's never been really recognised as much as he has been before, because really excelled, because he was a little bit of a journeyman before here. Now he's settled. Now he's playing under Andoni Iraola. He is. You can't drop Justin Kluivert. He's the first man on the team sheet. The only reason you can drop him is because of fatigue or injury. Honestly. And Semenyo's a battering ram. I think he's still playing with a little bit of a knock, as well. I think he is playing with a little bit of a knock because I don't think he's quite as good as what he was earlier on in the season. But that's me being really critical, to be fair, because we're playing we're playing absolutely out of our skin. Or is it a case that the rest of the team are playing so well that Semenyo isn't being noticed as much? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This football club is going into Europe. There is no doubt in my head that AFC Bournemouth will be going on a European tour. I will be getting my tickets. I've got my bloody passport. I will be going wherever. Be it the back end of Moldova or the new camp in Barcelona. I tell you what, it is an exciting tour that is coming up. And I honestly think I can't see us not getting a European spot. What European competition? That's the bigger question. Because whether or not is it the Europa League, is it the Europa Conference League, or do we dream the sweet merry dream of going into the Champions League, testing ourselves, going to the Santiago Bernabeu, AS Roma, San Siro, Milan, Inter or AC? I couldn't give a fuck which one. It would just be amazing to play them. Paris Saint-Germain, the Stade de France. I tell you what, this will be bloody brilliant. It's I have never, ever, ever imagined this. I imagined us possibly matching what we did under Eddie. I possibly imagined us getting, to the latter stages of the FA Cup. I possibly imagined us getting into the Europa Conference League by the skin of our teeth. Never did I imagine we would be in contention for a Champions League place. And I tell you what, the players now, relegation is not even an issue. And we're at the end of January. To be honest, we've been safe from relegation for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. We'd probably safe from relegation at the end of November. But honestly, we can play now with the shackles off. We can just go for it. And we can play with no pressure at all. We don't need to play with pressure. And if Andoni is watching this, that is my message to him. Just don't play with any pressure. Game by game. I'm probably preaching to the converted already. He knows what we need to do. It is going to be a game by game basis. It is going to be just keep outperforming our previous game. Try to. I have no concerns going into this game against Liverpool, and that's beautiful. They're top of the league. They basically run away with the league this year. But in fact, I honestly think that coming to Dean Court, we are probably the favourites. We might not be the favourites with bookies, but anybody who's watched AFC Bournemouth, anybody who's watched Liverpool, and anybody who's watched what we've done to Nottingham Forest in third, Newcastle United, who are on a great run of form and of course beat Southampton, of course, at the weekend as well. That's not hard to do. I wonder how many we're going to get there. I tell you what, we should go for against Saints. 9-0's been done a couple of times. Based on how we're playing, should we go for double figures against them? That'd be good fun. But yeah, what a day Southampton that would be. 10-0, 10-0, 10-0 against Southampton. I don't think we'll shut up about that for the next 30 years. I'll probably be dead by the time we shut up about it. But this is unbelievable. It's a long old video. It's me singing the praises, and so it should be, because this is our moment. Play with the shackles off. We just need to go for it. The players love playing under Andoni Iraola. There is no need to sell anybody. We don't need, the money. Let's just go for it. And I tell you what, the money that we'll make because of getting in European football, and so high up at the Premier League, will beat it. And I'll tell you what, if we do beat the Toffees at Goodison Park, how about an FA Cup run as well? Wembley, FA Cup winners, trophy. How about it? Hey, be dreaming about that being the Champions League next year. I don't think that's going to happen. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But I tell you what, we're going places. Wish you were here. We're off to Europe. We're on a European tour. Show me the way to Barcelona, AS Roma, and the San Siro. Show me the way to, somebody else make it up, please. Thank you for joining us. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button. Forest fans, let us know what you think. Do you think I'm talking absolute shit? Be quite happy. Forest fans, I hope that you get Europe as well. You deserve it. Hey, we'll finish third. You finish fourth. We'll both go on that Champions League tour together. How about that? And there won't be any wind in sight this time.
The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.